Hi guys, let's discuss current affairs and today's first questions about mango. To set up a market for Indian mangoes in Europe, the Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal has recently inaugurated a mango festival in Brussels, which is the capital of, the answers, Belgium. Well, this is Belgium. Oh boy, yeah, this is Belgium. You can see this is a tiny country in green here. Yeah, this is Belgium. Right above is Netherlands. So if you look at just the capitals, Netherlands, Amsterdam, Denmark, this is Denmark, okay, yeah, Denmark's Copenhagen, Norway up here, this is a pretty large country, yeah, Norway's capital is Oslo, Poland is here, okay, this is Poland, and the capital is Warsaw, starts with the W, ends in W, the spelling I mean. Okay, so give me some dope on mango. Well, mango, my friends, is the national fruit of three countries. Two you would know. One's India, our country. The second is our western neighbor, Pakistan. Okay, so mango is a national fruit of India, Pakistan, and the Philippines. Yes, mango is said to have originated in northwest Myanmar and India's east. That region is where mango is said to have is said to have originated. That's where the first fruit was found, and of course now it's moved to from there it moved to Southeast Asia and South Asia. So three countries have mango as a national fruit, and these would be India, Pakistan, and Philippines. National tree. Now, where's mango the national tree? The mango tree is the national tree of Bangladesh. Okay, mango tree is the national tree of Bangladesh. National tree of Bangladesh. Okay. National tree of Bangladesh. Mango is lovely, but there is a season. I think it's only seasonal fruit in India. These days we find all kinds of fruits available through the year. Yeah, but you get watermelon through the year, all kinds of things. Okay, except for mango, which is available only in the mango season, which is a summer season. Okay. The Prime Minister of India recently visited three countries: Germany, Belgium, and Denmark. Yeah, not not Belgium. I guess did he? Yeah, he went to Germany and Denmark. I guess he went to Belgium. So from there we'll see. Today we are going to discuss this particular place called Kaliningrad. Towards the end of the class, the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'll focus on this particular area called Kaliningrad, which is in news for all the wrong reasons from the Russians' perspective. Okay, what is the core theme of the Reserve Bank of India's Payments Vision 2025? Well, it's the 4 E's. You can say the 4 E's. What are the 4 E's? E-payments for everyone, everywhere, every time. Okay, what exactly is the payments vision? If you go to the RBI website, right on the front page, you would find payments vision as among the recent documents released. Okay, so what is the vision? What is this e-payments, electronic payments for everyone, everywhere, every time? So if you want to take, I'll give a short sentence. The plan Payments Vision 2025 of RBI aims to provide users with free, convenient, affordable, and accessible free, if not free, you say okay, let's not, because not every every service is free these days. So you could say fast, This is very important. Reliable, again very important when it comes to money. Safe, very important. And accessible. What is it? Accessible. So four major components of this. It has to be fast, e-payments have got to be fast, reliable, safe, and accessible for all kinds of users. So that's the objective of the RBI. And even today, see, as of today, UPI, Unified Payments Interface, is ranked among the world's best, when it comes to money transfers and all. So India has done a remarkable job in the last few years, especially in the last 3 years. It has done a great job of bringing about digital transactions, spreading the reach of digital transactions. Okay, from here you could look at the capital market regulators. SEBI has done something to facilitate greater retail participation. From what? I mean, people like you and I are retail participants. To facilitate greater retail participation, capital market regulators SEBI has formed Dash-led advisory committee on hybrid securities. So KV Kamath. Who's KV Kamath? KV Kamath's Krishna Vaman Kamath. Krishna Vaman Kamath is the ex-chairperson and CEO of ICICI Bank. He's also the ex-chairperson of what is that? Infosys Technologies. Also the ex-president of the first and the ex-president of BRICS Bank. BRICS Bank is now called NDB, New Development Bank. New Development Bank, also called the BRICS Bank. So he has held multiple important positions as the chairperson of ICICI Bank, as the chairperson and CEO of ICICI Bank, later as the chairperson of Infosys Technologies, and the last major position internationally he held was as the president of the New Development Bank, also called the BRICS Bank, in Shanghai, headquartered in Shanghai. The rest of the choices are like, if you look at choices 1 and 3, they're both ex-RBI governors. You look at choice 3, Yaga Venugopal Reddy. Yaga Venugopal Reddy is ex-RBI governor. Aditya Puri, of course, is ex-CEO of HDFC Bank. He was the CEO for about, I think, 26 years. Yeah. For the third time in the past 5 years, which city captured the top spot in the Global Livability Index, an annual report from the Economist Intelligence Unit. The Economist Intelligence Unit is a subsidiary of the Economist magazine, which is published from London. So you need to understand that they come up with this kind of index every year, where they take certain parameters: environment, law and order, ease of movement, transportation, cost of living, standard of income, everything, all kinds of parameters that ensure that you live in a good, decent environment. So Global Livability Index, which is the world's most livable city. Well, I would want you to write, it's mentioned there anyway, Vienna, which is the capital of Austria, and if you would take you take the name of this index here, Global Livability Index, top 3 would be, this is 1, okay, number 1. Number 2 is Copenhagen, Denmark, the capital of Denmark, and 3 is not mentioned here, Zurich, which is in Switzerland. Switzerland is spelled here. Okay, 3 is Zurich, Switzerland. So the most livable city in the world is Vienna, the capital of Austria, followed by Copenhagen and Zurich. Which are the worst cities to live in? I mean, cities with the worst livability index. Worst livability index. Okay. They ranked 173 countries, and the last was Damascus, which is the capital of Syria. Capital of Syria. Okay. 172, I think, is Lagos, which is the largest city in Nigeria. 171 is the capital of Libya, Tripoli. See, please understand there are two major Tripolis. One is in Libya, the capital of Libya. The second Tripoli is in Lebanon. Is in Lebanon. Don't worry about it. But you just look at this. Okay. Worst cities to live in. What are the rankings of two major cities that featured in this top 173 countries? Two major Indian cities. New Delhi, 112. Mumbai, 117. So these are the rankings. So we got some extra stuff here. Okay. I guess that's about it. The Financial Action Task Force has kept Pakistan on the grey list, which are the following statements regarding FATF are true. It has 37 countries headquartered in Paris. Okay, it's not mentioned here. So before that, we could just write FATF. The best way to remember things is to create a doodle or picture like, FATF, then full form, first 4 bits of information in 4 directions. Okay, like that. So you could write Financial Action Task Force, then 37 members, then head office Paris, and its head is a guy called Marcus Player. I have never used this particular line in the discussion. Marcus Player, he is from Germany. He's from Germany. Germany. So what is this body about? This body was created in 2003. No, I think it was created in sometime in 2003 or so. And you need to understand that this particular body was created to counter money laundering, which is like illegal money. It's black money basically. To avoid paying tax and all that, illegally gotten wealth or legally gotten wealth, but people don't want to pay tax, so they kind of do not showcase it in the books of accounts and do not show it in the books of accounts, and so they want they evade tax. So this money goes around in different parts of the world, and there are as of today 37 countries, but which are members here. But you need to understand that such money could be used for terrorist financing, and one of the major aims of FATF is to combat, stop money laundering and terrorism financing through money laundering. Okay, so there are two kinds of lists it has. One is a black list, the other is a grey list. When what we have mentioned, the question is that Pakistan is in the grey list, which is like there are restrictions. There are a lot of restrictions for countries on the grey list. For today, as of today, there are 22 countries on the grey list. How many countries? 22. 22 countries on the grey list, and 2 countries on the black list. Blacklist countries are North Korea and Iran mentioned there. Means it will become that much tougher for these countries to raise money elsewhere, to access financial services in different parts of the world. But when it comes to grey list, the restrictions aren't as strong as they are in the case of blacklisted members. So grey list, yes, 22 members are there. Among them, there are countries like Jordan, big countries like Jordan, Pakistan, Myanmar, Morocco. You have heard of this country in Northwest Africa, Morocco. I think in the previous session we looked at this. Jordan. You have Philippines. Yes, Philippines. A while ago we discussed Philippines also. So you have Pakistan, you have Myanmar. In all 22 countries, the rest are all small countries. You have countries like Albania, which is a tiny country in Europe. Okay, so you have Cuba also, and plenty of countries like this. Okay, So the idea is to make sure that money is not diverted to, all money is accounted for, taxes are paid, there is no black money, there is consequently there is no there is no money laundering, and of course importantly there is no terrorism financing. Those of you who don't know what are these two words here, two short forms, GCC and EU. GCC is Gulf Cooperation Council. Gulf Cooperation Council. Gulf Cooperation Council. And EU is European Union. European Union. European Union. Yeah. Chalo. Which country recently launched its homegrown rocket named NURI that carried satellites into orbit? South Korea. South Korea has become, I think, the seventh country or so to launch satellites, to develop indigenous satellites. And this is the second attempt at making a satellite. The first was a flop, but that was done just a few years back. And South Korea's rocket NURI, yeah, it's a three-stage rocket. This is a successor to something called NORA, which is again, like NURI was a three-stage rocket, but the first stage was Russian made. So that was Russian made, part of it was Russian made, so consequently NORA cannot be called fully, homegrown, or what is called indigenously developed satellite, or say spacecraft. NURI in Korean language means world. It means world. W-O-R-L-D, world. So now I want you to pay attention here. North Korea's leader is Kim Jong-un. The capital is Pyongyang. And the currency is won. Australia has a new prime minister, and before that the capital, Canberra. New prime minister is Anthony Albanese. Anthony Albanese. That's the new prime minister of Australia. Australian currency is Australian dollar. Germany has a new chancellor. His name is Olaf Scholz. Olaf Scholz. Chalo. The Indian Space Research Organization successfully launched communication satellite GSAT-24 from Kourou, which is in French Guiana. This is French Guiana. It's in South America, the northern part of South America on the Atlantic coast up here. Okay, these you can see Suriname. This is all Brazil here. Okay, so French Guiana is a part of France. Its area is included in the area of France. Okay, there are massive protests going on in this country for all the wrong reasons that they say, these Guyans say the French are not investing enough. Kourou. This is a place from where European Space Agency or the French Space Agency launches its rockets. Okay. I'll just tell you a little about the capitals, and before that, GSAT is geosynchronous. What is it? Yeah, geosynchronous. Geosynchronous. Geo is earth, sync is same. Okay, chron is time. Okay, OUS is full of. Remember, when a word ends in OUS, it means full of. So it's dangerous, full of danger. Okay. So geosynchronous satellite. Geosynchronous satellite. G stands for geosynchronous. Sat is satellite. It's a kind of communication satellite. It's mentioned anyway. Okay. So this time we launched it from Guyana. And what are the capitals? See, this Guyana here, this is French Guyana. Next to Suriname, you would find a country called Guyana. Okay, just west of Suriname. Guyana's capital is Georgetown. Bolivia, La Paz, and the two capitals, Sucre. La Paz is the highest capital city in the world by altitude. By altitude. Ecuador, I think it's Quito. French Guiana, it's mentioned here, is Cayenne. Uruguay, Montevideo. Montevideo. Okay. You'll find a lot of, in Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, you'll find a lot of Indians, people of Indian origin. Okay. A part of the Changtang Wildlife Sanctuary at Hanle will soon be turned into India's first dark sky reserve. This sanctuary is in Ladakh. It's in the cold, very cold, what to say? If let's say here you will find Hanle. This may not be the exact map of Kashmir. Okay, this is the line of control. This is J&K. This is Ladakh, and here you will find Hanle. Okay, if you want to write, I'll just give you something simple. Hanle dash, a village in Ladakh, home to the Indian Astronomical Observatory. Indian Astronomical Observatory. Indian Astronomical Observatory. So because it's cold, the skies are clear, weather conditions are always clear here, and there is no pollution, nothing, far away from a civilization. You can see that kind of sky there. Can you see those many stars? The Milky Way. Yeah, that's a Milky Way. So can you see so many stars here in our sky? Obviously no. Yeah, it's so much pollution, so much light around. So here, dark sky reserve is being created by the government of India to facilitate astro-tourism. So, let me clear this and let's look at something more. Ladakh is India's most sparsely or least densely populated state or union territory. Both actually. Okay. Shimla is where it's the capital of Himachal Pradesh. Gangtok, the capital of Sikkim. Dehradun, the capital of Uttarakhand. Mussoorie is of course a major city in Uttarakhand. Okay. Now coming to this, which do you think was India's first wildlife sanctuary? The first national park of India was Haley National Park. Haley National Park, now called Corbett National Park. The first national park of India was Haley, or now called Corbett. It was started in 1936. Which country's Senate recently passed a gun control bill considered the most significant firearms legislation in nearly 30 years? Well, the United States. See, the US as of today has 40 crore guns. Okay, the exact number is said to be about 39.4 crore. That is because most of these firearms are registered. That's where we get the data. Okay, otherwise it's very, very difficult to get data. So we have 40 crore guns in the US, and America's population is about 32 crores. 32 crores. But when it comes to number of guns, yes, there are 40 crore guns. And this year alone, 20,900 persons have been killed in gun violence. Persons have been killed in gun violence. So it's actually a tough thing to control, gun ownership in America, because the Republicans historically have opposed any kind of reform. But this particular law, the gun control bill, has come in with support, has been passed with support from both the major parties, the Democratic Party and the and the Republican Party. So the idea is to ensure that there are fewer mishaps like the recent Alvade school shooting, when one fellow came down, killed lots of kids. One of the measures through the gun control bill is stricter background checks on buyers below the age of 21. So if you are below 20, you are 20 years old, the government would run a thorough background check. So tougher, thorough background checks on buyers below the age of 21. This bill also bring in an amount of $15 billion in federal funding. That is, the US central government will give $15 billion, to set up what are called mental health facilities, and of course school security should be upgraded, they said. So $15 billion have been granted for two major things. One, to provide mental health facilities, and second, to upgrade school security. Now there is a very dicey thing about America. Americans love their guns, and they say their ownership is protected by the second amendment, the US amendment, second amendment in the US Constitution. Now I'll not go into that, though I've read a lot about this. I want you to understand that there are serious lobbies in America which are anti-gun control. They don't want any kind of control on gun ownership or gun business. It's a very controversial topic in America. Okay, coming to the capitals, Argentina. This class I have focused more on capitals, isn't it? Buenos Aires, Mexico City. Canada, Ottawa. Brazil, Brasilia. US, Washington, DC. Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently launched the NIRAID Portal. This portal will directly deal with, if I give you the full form, you will know what the answer is. You could write this: NIRAID, National Import-Export, National Import-Export, National Import-Export for yearly analysis. For yearly analysis of trade, of foreign trade, of trade. Okay, homework for you. Just find out which is the world's largest exporter, number one exporter, and also find out number one importer. World's largest exporter and world's largest importer. Find out for yourself. Okay. According to surrogacy rules, regulation rules issued recently, couples who intend to take the surrogacy route to become parents will have to buy a general health insurance coverage in favor of the surrogate mother for a period of 36 months. Now, recently, the government of India brought in regulations to control or regulate this booming sector called surrogacy. So some measures have been criticized widely, but then the government would decide what is right in light of its ideology, and it would suggest measures. It would come up with ideas in light of its ideology, in light of its practicality. That is, what works, what doesn't work. Okay, so if you want to couple of things, if you want to write, I can give you a couple of things under this rule, surrogacy regulations rules. One, who can go for surrogacy? Surrogacy is where a woman is had her womb, typically see in normal bhasha, commercial language, surrogacy commercial language, it's like womb for rent. I know it sounds very bad, but then that's how critics describe it. So a couple who cannot conceive can approach a woman who is willing to take what we say, who is willing to carry the fetus. So in short, basically, is willing to become a surrogate mother. Okay, take a surrogate route. So the idea is the eggs and everything, it's planted in the woman basically who's willing to become a surrogate, and then from there the entire pregnancy goes, and then childbirth, and there is birth, childbirth, and the baby is given to the parents who had employed the services of this surrogate mother, you could say. Yeah. So it's a bit dicey and it's a very complicated issue. I put it in as light, as simple a manner as possible. Okay, so who can take the surrogate route? Earlier, anyone could take. Now the government has brought in certain regulations. Number one regulation is only a heterosexual couple can avail of surrogacy services. So heterosexual couple, okay, who have been married for at least 5 years. Heterosexual couple who have been married for at least 5 years. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3. Among the heterosexual couple, the man must be between the ages of 26 and 55. 26 and 55. And woman must be between 25 and 50 years. These are the actual rules of the law. Okay, I have read these rules, so I can tell you this. So, and another one is the couple, who employ the services, who avail of surrogacy services. You could write this: the heterosexual couple should have no biological, adopted, adopted or other surrogate children, dash, unless the child is mentally or physically challenged, or has a life threatening disease. Life threatening disease. So there are rules everywhere. The couple should not have biological children, should not have adopted children or other surrogate children, from previous occasions. So this is how it is. and this insurance has to be bought so that the woman, the surrogate mother, does not suffer from, is not left to fend for herself, is not left to her own finances to take care of herself. So the insurance will take care of any kind of complication, and this is for 36 months. So from the moment of surrogacy, from the start implanting the transfusing the eggs and all the fetus, and from there, what we say, till about childbirth, and then 2 years after that, because there could be complications arising from such surrogacy. Okay, so India, which has become India's first airport to run entirely on hydro and solar power, Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi. Where is this Gopinath Bordoloi? Lokpriya Gopinath Bordoloi Airport is in Guwahati. Birsa Munda, Ranchi. Swami Vivekananda, Raipur. Veer Savarkar, Port Blair. Okay. Yeah. Who will replace Amitabh Kant as the Chief Executive Officer of the Niti Aayog? Niti stands for National Institution for Transforming India. So the answer is Parmeshwaran Iyer. Parmeshwaran Iyer is an IAS officer, ex-IAS is an IAS officer. He took voluntary retirement also, and he has worked for, before he became an IAS officer, he worked as an apprentice. He took up a job for a short time at a hotel company, Oberoi Hotels. 10 days later, he quit the job because he said that I don't want to cut vegetables. Not exactly that. Then, he went to attend an interview at DCM, Delhi Cloth Mills in those days. Okay. So there the owner, Bharat Shriram, he asked Parmeshwaran Iyer a question. What is inflation? And he had no idea, so he didn't get that job also. He went to ITC. He couldn't stay there also. So fine day he said that, okay, let me take the civil service. His parents said that take a civil service exam. He wanted to become a professional tennis player, but his father said, take some exam, have a backup. You need something to eat, something that will feed you. So he took this IAS exam, and luckily for him, he cleared it. I was stunned to read this story. The Prime Minister of India has great respect for this man. He had narrated this man's story in, I think, one of these Man Ki Baat episodes. Okay, so Parmeshwaran Iyer is the next CEO, is the new CEO of Niti Aayog. Lord, look at the choices. Choice 3, Pawan Kumar Deka is the new Director of Intelligence Bureau. New Director of Intelligence Bureau. You look at the choice 5, Arvinda Kumar. He is the ex-Director of Intelligence Bureau. That's not important. So 3, Director of Intelligence Bureau. 2, Director of RAW. Samantha Goyal is Director of RAW. Some people write it as R&AW. Okay. Research and Analysis Wing. Which is India's external or foreign spy agency. IB is internal spy agency, domestic spy agency. RAW is foreign spy agency. PC Modi. Pramod Chandra Modi is the Secretary General of Rajya Sabha. Pramod Chandra Modi, Secretary General of Rajya Sabha. He is the ex-chairperson of the Central Board of Direct Taxes. He had a very long tenure. Okay. That's a little about this. World Olympic Day is observed on. So World Olympic Day is observed on June 23rd. Now why June 23rd? Because on this day in 1894, the International Olympic Committee was established. The International Olympic Committee was established in June in 1894. 1894. Okay. So the choices here. Why don't we look at choice 1? June 26th, International Day. International Day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking. Illicit trafficking. Okay. June 20th, yesterday, in the previous session we learned this. World Refugee Day. World Refugee Day. June 15th, I don't exactly remember this. I think it's Wind Day something. Yeah, World Wind Day. In case I'm incorrect, send a mail, but I'll check anyway. I think it's June Wind Day. It's Wind Day. June 3rd is Bicycle Day. Bicycle Day. Next. Which Indian American scientist has been nominated top science advisor to the US President? Arthi Prabhakar. This is Dr. Arthi Prabhakar. Dr. Arthi Prabhakar, is ex-director of DARPA. Heard of DARPA? This is the mother of the internet. Okay. This is the US Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. US Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and she headed it. She headed America's most prestigious, research agency, which is a part of the DoD. American DoD's Department of Defense. And you know how she is a PhD in what? Applied physics. She did a PhD from applied physics from Caltech. Heard of Caltech? See, Caltech is California Institute of Technology. California Institute of Technology is considered one of the world's most prestigious educational institutes, especially for higher studies. And she did a PhD in applied physics. And you know what? She was the first woman PhD in applied physics from Caltech. The organization itself is top class, and she made a record there. She's the first woman PhD in applied physics from Caltech. So whenever I get these questions from our team, I don't make these questions, obviously. I just put a photographs or something, some kind of garnishing. But the questions are made by our guys. Yeah, time has a big team. And when I looked up this question, I looked up Arthi Prabhakar. I was surprised to read about to read all those things, great things about her. Yeah, it's nice to learn about people who are making a huge difference, who worked very hard, whose effort has borne fruits in the right way. Yeah. So she's the ex-director of DARPA and now currently the main advisor, science advisor to the US President Joe Biden. To address the needs of students aspiring to pursue higher education in India or abroad, which private company has launched a digital platform named Campus Power, ICICI Bank, led by Sandeep Bakshi. Axis Bank, Amitabh Chaudhary. HDFC Bank, Sashidhar Jagdishan. CSB is CVR. This is how it is written. I don't know what it means, VR. Yeah, Rajendran. Rajendran. IndusInd Bank, Sumant Katpalia. Sumant Katpalia. Okay. Name the new premises of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi. Vanijya Bhavan. Vanijya means commerce, and the ministry is headed by Piyush Goyal. Piyush Goyal also heads two other ministries. One is textiles. You find out what is the third one. Okay. And before he became the textiles minister, it was headed by Smriti Irani. Okay. Which country's Supreme Court recently overturned a 50-year-old ruling that recognized women's constitutional right to abortion? The case is called Roe versus Wade. Okay, 1973, American government, the American Supreme Court said that an American woman has a constitutional right to abortion. It is guaranteed by the Constitution. The current Supreme Court, in a 5-3 majority, these are all liberal guys. These are liberal guys and these are conservative guys. They said abortion is not a constitutional right, and as such, the decision to allow abortion or not should be left to the states, the 50 states of America. So many people have understood it as the US Supreme Court has banned abortion. No, it is not banned abortion. What it has said is that it is not for the central government to regulate, to bring in laws to allow, to confer a constitutional right on American women to have an abortion. It is the state government that has that can decide to allow women to have abortion or not. Now, abortion is about, matter of choice. It's a matter of choice. Conservatives says that, conservatives means people who are religiously inclined, they say that God gives life. So who are we to take it away? Okay. So they say that we are pro-life, and conservative, the people who are pro-abortion are called pro-choice. These are pro-abortion, anti-abortion guys. So there is this entire controversy. So it is not that the US Supreme Court has banned abortion. It has said that it is not a constitutional right. That's it, nothing else. Now, so states are free to bring in laws that could ban abortion outright, that could allow abortion in certain cases where, like rape, okay, a child born of rape, or incest, where incest, incest is sexual relations between persons too closely related to be legally married. Okay, so children born, or say a pregnancy resulting from rape or incest could be terminated. Some states allow it, most states don't allow it in America. Yeah. So this is a very controversial thing in America. Very, very controversial thing. So, I mean, I can only tell you what, is important from an interview perspective. So, pro-choice, pro-life. You learn these terms. This will help you. Okay. So, states are now free to decide what kinds of rights they wish to confer on American women. Whether they can have pregnancy, they can have an abortion, if it's yes, legally allowed to have abortion or not allowed to have abortion. If yes, allowed, in what cases can be allowed? Outright abortion, yes, without no questions asked, or in case of certain, certain conditions, certain circumstances. So it's always a dicey thing, and India has always had a very liberal attitude towards these things. Yes. For which of the following nations has the European Union recently granted a European Union candidate status? All three: Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, and all three of them have had problems with Russia. This is Moldova. Okay. This is Crimea, this peninsula. Russia has taken this is Crimea Peninsula. So this is now under Russian. Okay, Georgia. There are some parts of Georgia here, South Ossetia, yeah, and Abkhazia, which are broken away from Georgia, which are recognized by Russia but not recognized internationally. Then in Moldova, there is a place called Transnistria. Russia recognizes it. Moldova says, no, 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 you are not independent, you are a part of us. Very controversial. Maybe I'll bring this back to you in one of the sessions on where I will discuss this entire Russian thing. But see, it's easy to give a candidate status, but it is very difficult to become a full-time member. Years and years could go by without any result. Like for example, you see the down there, Turkey. Turkey was given candidate status in 1999. Has Turkey become a member of the European Union? No. It is 2022 and it's been like what? More than 2 decades, Turkey has not been made a member of the European Union. So candidate status means nothing. It's just to spite Russia, they might have given this. But then, you know, when you are very old, yeah, Ukraine will become a member of the European Union. So anyway, the capital of Ukraine is, you know this, Kiev. It's mentioned there, Kiev. The president is Volodymyr Zelensky. Somehow I don't like his antics, yeah. And the currency is, I think, will not burden you with hryvnia is a currency, but 2 are enough. Shall we write? Chalo, I started it. Hryvnia. Okay, hryvnia. So from there, let's go to Moldova. Moldova, the capital is Chisinau. They are really worried of, they are greatly afraid of Russia. But then you need to understand that, it's a very poor country. It was once a part of the Soviet Union. These are all Soviet Union. These are all Soviet Union. Okay. What is it? Prime Minister. Yeah, Natalia. See, you don't have to remember all these things, but you need to become familiar. At least become familiar. Acha, Natalia. MN. Moldova M. उसके बाद आता है N. Like that. Okay, yeah. Gabrielita. Natalia Gabrielita is the Prime Minister. And the currency is Liu. Yeah, Liu. ठीक है? Georgia. Let's look at Georgia. Tbilisi. Tbilisi is the what is it? Capital. And what is her name here? Irakli. L-I. Garibashvili. What's his name? Irakli Garibashvili is the Prime Minister. And the currency is Lari. L-A-R-I. L-A-R-I. Maybe in the next class I'll bring in a bit about these things. Okay, these places, like, you know, which Russia claims, or at least has eyes on, basically. Yeah, and without going into whether Russia is right or not. Is Russia a monster? Not for us to decide. Not at least for me to decide. Yeah. The higher limit of statutory liquidity ratio is 40%. So the current is 18%. What is statutory liquidity ratio? You could write this. Percentage of time and demand liabilities, which are deposits, time and demand liabilities, kept in liquid form. Easy, this is an easy definition. liquid investments, liquid forms like liquid investments like government securities and gold and gold. Last point, SLR helps a bank avoid a run on the bank. A run on the bank meaning panic withdrawals. So there is a rumor in the market, man, this bank is going to collapse. So if the bank is going to collapse, people will come and withdraw their money. So at the same time, the bank wouldn't have money right away, isn't it? A lot of money would have gone out in terms of loans. It would have been, money would be, money would not be readily available. So there could be panic situation. It's kind of people run all over the bank. So the government says, the RBI says, bank has to keep 18% right now of that money, whatever it collects from the depositors, in the form of liquid assets like gold and all, so that in case there is an issue, there is some kind of a run on the bank, the gold could be converted to cash right away, and the money could be used to pay off these people who want their money back. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Which of the following is a watchdog to prevent unfair trade practices in India? CCI, Competition Commission of India. Competition Commission of India. We are going to discuss only this. Competition Commission of India. Okay. Underline that. You could just write one line. Aims to prevent competition I'm so sorry. Aims to prevent activities that promote competition. I'm so sorry, guys. Aims to promote activities that promote competition and avoid all activities that might have adverse negative impact on the competition. So company A wants to merge with company B. Company A wants to buy company B. CCI would look at this. CCI has to approve this deal. CCI will look at the deal. If these two guys come together, if A buys B, will they control the market to the extent that they dictate the price? If yes, then the approval is not given. Yeah. But anything to promote competition, because healthy competition is always good for people, for consumers especially for consumers. And who heads CCI? You could write this: Ashok Kumar Gupta, chairperson Ashok Kumar Gupta. FMC is Forward Markets Commission, is now a part of SEBI. Long back it was made a part of SEBI. SEBI is Securities and Exchange Board of India. This capital market regulator is headed by Madhabi Puri Pooch. You don't require CRISIL now, but anyway, chalo. Credit rating and information services India Limited. Credit rating and information services India Limited. It's owned by now a company called Standard and Poor's. Standard and Poor's. It's a credit rating agency. CMI is a private company. It is the center for monitoring of Indian economy. Center for monitoring of Indian economy. Monitoring of Indian economy. Okay, monitoring of Indian economy. So I guess that should be. Bullion market is a market for gold and silver. Enough. Yeah. High value shares typically got blue chip shares. Russia has warned Lithuania of serious consequences after the latter banned the rail transfer of goods to the Russian territory of Kaliningrad. The capital of Lithuania is Vilnius. See, this is Russia. This is Russia, but this portion between Poland and Lithuania is also Russia. It's also Russia. So, what is this controversy? I want you to write some notes on this, so that you could take it home. This is the last question, so I want you to write some notes. Please write. Okay? Write this. Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad. Underline that. First point. Russian exclave. Russian exclave. It's not directly a part of the country. This is Russian exclave. Okay, located between Poland and Lithuania. Poland, I anyway mentioned Poland and Lithuania. Poland and Lithuania. Next, taken from USSR or Soviet Union. Took it from Germany in 1946. In 1946, so the Russians could have access to the Baltic Sea and all. Control over Germany and all. Took it from Germany in 1946. Germany called it Königsberg or Königsberg. So it had a lot of Germans. Russia expelled all of them, threw them out. Okay. So next, area. The area of this place is 15,100 square. You type 15,100 square kilometers. Next, population. About 1 million, which is 10 lakh. About 1 million. 1 million. Next. No direct and free movement. No direct and free movement between Russia and Kaliningrad. It's also Russia, but yeah, Kaliningrad and other parts of Russia. No direct and free movement between Russia and Kaliningrad is allowed both by Lithuania and Poland. Lithuania and Poland both are anti-Russia. Both by Lithuania and Poland. Now you may say, why not Latvia? Why do Latvia? See, the thing is, you see, look, Belarus is a satellite country of Russia. This is more or less under Moscow's control. So till here there are Russian militaries here. Yeah. Now the Russian military is here also, but to go from here to another, this is all territory. It's what is called Polish territory. Yeah, some part of it it's on the border between Lithuania and Poland. So both countries don't allow. Both countries don't allow. Next one. Yeah, last point. Russian requests for visa free travel has also been rejected. So visa free travel from where? From Russia to Kaliningrad, between Russia and Kaliningrad. So I mean, why would they need a visa? But then Lithuanians say you require our country's visa. If you go via Poland, you require Polish visa. Yeah. Next. Last point, really last point. Okay. So currently movement is facilitated. Movement between Kaliningrad and Russia is allowed through facilitated travel document. Facilitated travel document. So here on the border they have to show this, okay, document, take Lithuanian or Polish visa, from there then go. That's how it is. Yeah. If you want to know how the name comes and you want to write this point, though I won't insist on this particular point, it's named after the former Russian or Soviet Union president named Mikhail Kalinin. Named after Mikhail Kalinin, who was a Russian president between 1938 and 46. 1938 and 46. Now in some books you would say, hey, Bharat is wrong. You may say that Bharat is wrong because in that period Joseph Stalin was the president of Russia. Joseph Stalin was the general secretary of the Communist Party of Soviet Union, and the general secretary is the most powerful chap, whereas the president is a rubber stamp. Okay, yes, he was a rubber stamp, but Stalin named it after him, this region after him. Okay. So Lithuania says we won't allow the Russians to access Kaliningrad. So the Poles also say that Poles are Polish people, or the people of Poland. They also say that we will not allow these guys. No, you can't come in, they say. So the Russians have warned Lithuania. Lithuania is also anti-China because Lithuania allowed the opening of a Taiwanese embassy. This is a really bad situation for Lithuania. But the Lithuanians, Estonians, Latvians are all worried about Russian expansion. So they are all pro-European, pro-West. They're members of the European Union anyway. Then the currency of Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia is euro. So that's about it. And let's see how it works out in the days to come. Thank you for being here. That's all from me, Bharat C. Jain. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious.